بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على سيد رسل وخاتم الأنبياء وعلى آله وصحبه نجوم الهدى قالت التقى أما بعد. My dear respected honorable listeners, I greet you with the greetings of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we begin with Surah Al-Falaq, and it is the first session of Surah Al-Falaq. Inshallah, I will do mashq once, recite the surah completely once, and thereafter we will go through the common mistakes verse by verse, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. So in the first verse, the second word قل أعوذ, the first letter is the Hamza and the second letter is the Ain. So we don't read it قل أعوذ, rather we make mention of the Hamza, قل أعوذ. So the first letter is the Hamza, and you do not make this sound like a Ain, and the second letter is a Ain, and you do not make the Ain sound like a Hamza. So قل أعوذ, you have to make sure that when you recite the word قل أعوذ, you can hear yourself saying the Hamza, قل أعوذ. A lot of people, they read قل أعوذ. You cannot hear the Hamza at all. So قل أعوذ. The third word, بربل, this ra in بربل is full mouth. Why? Because the ra has a fatha, and when we've gone through the previous surah, we've always said that when a ra has a fatha, or if a ra has a dhamma, then we need to read the ra with full mouth. So قل أعوذ بربل. The last word falaq. The word falaq, the qaf, the last letter in falaq, the letter qaf, it's got a kasra. Now when we stop on this verse, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, then we have changed the kasra into a sukun. And we learn from the rules of tajweed, when the letter qaf has a sukun, or it has been changed into a sukun, then we need to do a slight echo sound, also known as qalqala. So قل أعوذ برب الفلق. We don't just do a complete sukun, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, and we don't make the echo sound such that we make it into a fatha, into a dhabar. So for example, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, that's wrong as well. So just a slight echo sound, قل أعوذ برب الفلق. In the second verse, min sharri, this ra here is a empty mouth. This ra is min sharri ma khalaq. So this ra is empty mouth, and also just like in the first verse, the last word, in this verse also the last word khalaq, the qaf, because if we stop here, then we change the qaf into a sukun. So it will no more have a fatha, rather it will have a sukun, and we do a slight echo sound. In the third verse, wa min sharri, once again also is empty mouth, and this ghain in the third word, غاسق, comes from the letter ghain comes from the top of the throat. غاسق, ومن شر غاسق. And when we read غاسق إذا, so when we're joining the two words, we're not joining, but when we're reading it together, غاسق إذا, we have to make sure we make sound of the Hamza. Majority of the time people read ومن شر غاسق إذا. We need to make sound of the tanween, because here the rule that takes place is idhar. And idhar means to make something apparent. Like I've said before, it means something to make something apparent. Here the tanween, the two kasara, after the two kasara, the tanween, the letter hamza comes, so izhar takes place. So we have to make the tanween apparent. So وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. We have to make sure that we can hear ourselves reciting the letter hamza. غَاسِقٍ إِذَا In the last word here, waqab, same as falaq and khalaq in the first two verses. The letter ba also is a letter of the from amongst the letters of the qalqala. So this ba, which is originally a fatha, if we are going to stop here, we need to change the ba into a sukoon. So from a fatha, from a dhabar, we make it into a sukoon. And we have, if we stop here, then we make a slight echo sound. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ. The fourth verse, وَمِن شَرِّ, once again is empty mouth. And we have to join the second word, shadri, the third word, shadri, with the fourth word, nafathati. So, وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ. We need to join it together. Some people make this mistake of, separating the words. وَمِن شَرِّ نَفَّاثَاتِ. So we need to join them. And when we're joining them together, the word shadri and nafathat, when they join together, the noon has a tashdid. Shadrin nafathati. And whenever a noon or a meme has a tashdid, then it will always be with gunnah. So وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ. In the word nafathati, the fa and the tha are one alif long. هذه خرى زبر. So the letter fa and tha are one alif long. So وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. فِي الْعُقَدِ, the ain here is from the middle of the throat. So fil uqad. And the dal also here, dal is also a letter from the qalqala, the letters from the letters of echo. So the dal will be changed from a kasra to a sukoon when we stop. Only when we stop, the dal will be changed into a sukoon and also a slight echo sound. In the last verse, وَمِن شَرِّ, once again, وَمِن, the sharri here is empty mouth. حَاسِدٍ, the letter ha comes from the middle of the throat. حَاسِدٍ إِذَا, this dal with the tanween also, idhar takes place here also because tanween to kasra comes, and after the tanween, the letter hamza comes. So izhar takes place, and like we said, izhar means to make something apparent. So we have to make sure we can hear the tanween. حَاسِدٍ إذا hasad. Also in the last word here, ha is from amongst the letters of the throat, and it is from the middle of the throat. And once again here, dal is from the letters of qalqala, where we need to do echo. So the dal will be changed from a fatha to a sukoon. So we need to do a slight echo sound. These are the common mistakes of Surah Al-Falaq. Inshallah, once again, I'll go through the mashq and recite one more time, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد صدق الله العظيم.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'd. We're reaching the end of the 10 surahs, or almost reaching the end, and we've covered a lot of detail of the previous surahs, the tafsir, the tajweed, some reflections on the surahs themselves, the reasons for why they were revealed, so many things. And now we've entered into Surah Al-Falaq. And there is a bit of debate about when this surah was revealed. Some say it was a Makki surah, some say it was a Medina surah, meaning that whether it was revealed before Hijrah or after Hijrah. And the reason for this is because of a certain narration in Bukhari. And because of the nature of the surah, it does not seem like a surah that was revealed in Medina. It seems like a Meccan surah. So what is this narration? That there was this Jewish rabbi, or this Jewish priest, this elite Jew, and he was called Labid ibn A'sam. Now, what he did was he did sihr, he did magic upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it made a few problems for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They weren't major, small, just a few things, which was not from his character in the general sense. But so he did sihr on him, and when he realized that someone had sihr on him, he angels, or he saw in a dream that someone did sihr on him, and the spell, the spell where its bound is, it can be found in a specific well. And the angels told him that if you read the Mu'awwidhatayn, they will free you from this magic. And what we mean by Mu'awwidhatayn is قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, the two Mu'awwidhas. Now, he told some companions to find this well, and they found it, and they dug out the thing that had the spell on it. They recited the Mu'awwidhatayn, and they blew on it, opened the knot, cut it, and or either they cut it or they brought it back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I can't remember which one it was, but it was open, cut, while the person was reading the Mu'awwidhatayn. Okay, and all this happened in Medina. So there's a bit of a debate when it was actually revealed. One interpretation, one opinion we can take is that it was revealed in Mecca, but its use for magic came in Medina. Okay, or any problem that fall into this type of category, that's when the Mu'awwidhatayn become very useful, and it is something that we should try to read every day. Okay, in the night time, the morning, whenever, if you can, before sleep. But and that's along with the other quls as well. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. It's very beneficial. But specifically these two surahs, they have more relation to a supernatural side to problems. Okay, we'll get to that. So it starts off with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn, or the daybreak. من شر ما خلق, from the evil of what has been created. ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب, and from the full moon, or from the darkness when it becomes intensely dark. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد, and from the evil of the women that blow into knots. ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد, and from the evil of every envious person when they have envy. Okay, that's the rough translation of the surah. So going back to the first verse, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn. And again, like we said, that قُل is sort of to show the purity of the message. But we know that obviously whenever there is a Quranic verse, obviously we know that Allah has commanded the Prophet ﷺ to say it. Okay, but in verses where there's a qul, we can understand that there is more emphasis. There is more emphasis on it. Okay, that we need to really take heed of what it's saying. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn. And to seek refuge, okay, this is what makes us different from other religions, other types of people. When they seek refuge in Jesus, or they seek refuge in pagan gods. Okay? All of this is to sort of take us away from shirk as well. Okay? Just as Surah Ikhlas is to remind us of the oneness of Allah, here we're reminded of the oneness of Allah as well. That I seek refuge in the Lord of Dawn. Okay? And we know who this is because Allah has introduced himself sort of in the surah. Okay? So he, Allah, is the Lord of the worlds. He, Allah, is the Lord of the dawn. Now, Al-Falaq, there are a few interpretations, roughly about 4 main interpretations, and one of them means the dawn. When the sun rises, the dawn. The second interpretation is the daybreak. And the reason for this is in the word falaq, because falaq means to break something open. And for example, in Surah Al-An'am, Inna Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. Okay, faliq, someone that opens up the ground. Okay, and when you put the seed in it and then close it, to break it open, this is falaq. And this is why one of the interpretations is that falaq means daybreak. That when it's nighttime, the sun rises, it breaks the night, the atmosphere of the night into a different atmosphere. Okay. The other interpretation is like, for example, Abdahak and others, they talk about a place in Jahannam, that Falaq is a valley or a chamber in Jahannam, specific. Okay, it's a specific place. And then the final final interpretation that we can take is a more of a mystical interpretation, that it's a light that comes up in the heart. Okay? Meaning that most of the time, if we don't practice Islam properly, a darkness grows in the heart, and in order to dispel that darkness, we need to add light to it, because light is the opposite of darkness. You cannot have light and darkness in the same place at the same time. It does not work. It's just like saying he is standing up and he is not standing up at the same time. Okay, they're contradictions. So light and darkness are contradictions as well. Good and bad, they're contradictions. Okay, so you cannot have you can only have one or the other, you cannot have both. So this light, when it shines up in the heart, this is what they interpret as falaq, that Allah is the one, when he passes light into the heart, it dispels the darkness. Okay, so these are the 4, you could say, main interpretations of falaq, the Lord of the dawn, daybreak, valley in Jahannam. I mean, you can interpret it that way, but it's a bit of a strange one. Or the Lord of the light that shines in the heart to dispel the darkness. Okay. And then, okay, so why does Allah mention falaq? Okay. Because in the other verses we're gonna go into magic and whatnot. So why does Allah talk about the dawn and the daybreak? And we will understand why when we get into the 3rd verse. So then Allah says, Min sharri ma khalaq, from the evil of what has been created. And you can see here that he doesn't say the evil of what Allah has created. The evil of what he has created, meaning to sort of move away the idea of the concept of evil and Allah. Okay, this is a sort of adab that you can find in even the prophets, that they would never attribute evil to Allah. Okay, out of the adab. For example, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he says in the Quran, وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ, that when I become ill, He is the one that cures me. Can you see that? Yes, everything in this creation is made by Allah. Okay, and even illnesses and whatnot, everything is created by Allah. But out of other Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's sort of directing the illness to his own weaknesses. He doesn't direct it back to Allah. He says, when I become ill, he is the one that cures me. Okay, when Musa alayhi salam was with Khidr alayhi salam, and Khidr alayhi salam, he broke a ship. Okay, he broke a ship. Okay, and he said, I wanted to break it. Okay, can you see? I wanted to break it. But then when he was talking about preserving two orphans so that they can grow up and mature, yeah, through in safety, he says, when your Lord wanted. Can you see the difference? When it's something sort of attributable to evil, they direct it back to themselves, and when it's something good, they direct it back to Allah. They don't direct it back to themselves. Okay, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came out of Taif, bleeding, humiliated, okay, he made a dua where he said to Allah, Ya Allah, I complain to you of my own weakness. Can you see this? It's this adab that you can find in the prophets, that they don't attribute this evil to Allah, even though they know that Allah created everything. He created everything. But they don't attribute evil to themselves. And we could sort of go onto a tangent about the problem of evil here. I don't want to go into it, but if you do have any questions about it, let me know. But we could go into the problem of evil. What is evil? Does it exist? Allah's mercy and whatnot. How could such a good, how could Allah, who we think of in a good way, how could He create evil and whatnot? But if you want me to answer a question about that, then let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to move on from that because it sort of goes off tangent. Then Allah says, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ, and from the evil of the moon when the night becomes intensely dark. Okay, when it becomes intensely dark, and this is because most of the evil happens at nighttime. This is when the shaitan let loose. They go wild. They wreak havoc in the nighttime. This is why you should, after Maghrib for about 15-20 minutes, you should keep your children inside out of safety, because this is the time when they just run out like wild animals. Okay, so this is why Allah refers to the Falaq, the daybreak, the dawn, because once the sun rises, even in modern society, even when people are partying and clubbing, when it's sunrise, they think, okay, I have to go back to work, I have to get back to my family, I have to move on with the day. Even non-Muslims feel that. And you see, so this is the effect the day has on people, the effect of daybreak, the effect of dawn. It's a new day, it's a new atmosphere. We have to change. Okay, and we don't have much time, so I'm sort of rushing it. وَمِن شَرٍ. Okay, so here there's three evils that we are trying to save ourselves from the night. Okay, أعوذ بالله من شر هذا الغاسق. I seek refuge in you from the evil of this the night when it's a full moon. Okay, we're saving ourselves from the evil of the night, and then the evil of magic and the evil of envy. Okay, the evil of magic and the evil of envy. So وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ, and from when the evil of women when they blow into knots. And subhanAllah, we could go into a full topic on this. It's a very big topic, and it's a very important topic, because our I don't understand what it is. Our Asians love to sort of cast spells over other people, and unfortunately, this is not to shame women. Okay, you got to understand this. It's not to shame women. This is what we understand as خرج مخرج الغالب, meaning it's sort of, we're taking understanding from what is common. it's not that men don't blow nuts into spells and cast spells on people, but we find this more in women. It's just like that. You ask me why, I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so also the spell that was cast on the Prophet ﷺ, it was cast through tying knots as well. Okay, can you see? And there's even madhabs in magic as well. Some in voodoo and some in numerology, some in tying knots and whatnot. Tying knots is the hardest to break, they say. Some say that it's the hardest to break. So just to stop short, we want to keep ourselves safe from this as well, because this is a very, very evil thing that runs rampant in our communities. Okay, I have this sort of informal rule that if you don't know at least one person in your family that doesn't practice magic, you can't class yourself as a Bengali. But it's sort of a joke. At the same time, it's not a joke, because Allahu Akbar, what can I say? وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ, and from the envy of an envious person. And envy is what broke Iblis. Okay, broke him. When Allah made Adam alayhi salam Khalifa, his vicegerent on earth, there was envy. Iblis questioned him. Why did you make him Khalifa? You created him from earth and you created me from fire. خَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ طِينٍ. Okay, you created him from earth. What is this? Okay, this is a challenge, and this is the problem with envy. The difference, okay, so I'm just going to end it here. The difference between why we can't really translate to jealousy, because jealousy is not always a sinful thing, because you can think, if only I had such a thing, and that is not what we're talking about when we're talking about hasad. Hasad is when you're targeting the individual. Why does he have that? Why does he have it and I don't have it? This is questioning the grace of Allah. This is questioning the qadr of Allah. This is a challenge. Okay, it's not evil to want something, to desire something. It's not a good thing, it's not praiseworthy, but it's not evil. So we ask Allah to save us from envy as well. And just to stop it here, envy is the grandchild of anger. So if you want to get rid of envy, you want to control your anger, as is the advice of Imam Ghazali rahimahullah. Any questions? I had to sort of rush, couldn't get through everything because of time. But there's, if anyone has any questions, let me know.
Inshallah, we can carry on with tomorrow, inshallah. Maybe explain a few things that you want to explain in detail. Hopefully tomorrow, inshallah, or we can go through it. Hopefully, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. I just want to
actually, it's not a question per se, but I'd actually like a continuation of the concepts of evil and good, etc. That the Sheikh was starting. So if it's possible, maybe more information on that tomorrow.
Yeah, inshallah.
Right.
Can we do that? Inshallah.
I mean, I was thinking you were going to.
I know you didn't want to go on a tangent, but maybe it was quite interesting.
How much time do you have?
We don't have too long now, but I mean, tomorrow, if we can, hopefully carry on. We'll discuss it later as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if Sheikh Asif, if you take over the lesson, and when it comes to that question, I can try to answer that question.
Okay. Yeah, we can discuss it hopefully, inshallah.
Inshallah.